I'm Justin Irlbeck, Technical Team Agronomist in Northwestern South Dakota, and this is your Agronomy Tip of the Week. I'll be talking to you a little bit today about white mold in soybeans. With the widespread rains in the upper Midwest and the cooler than average temperatures that are predicted over the upcoming weeks, we are at a higher risk for white mold to take off and thrive in our soybean fields. As I stated earlier, white mold is a disease that thrives under cool, moist conditions, as well as any field conditions that might limit the air movement within the plant's canopy. Those field conditions might include high fertility, high population, high yielding soybeans, usually in narrow row spacings, but not limited to a narrow row spacing, as you can still see white mold in wider row situations. White mold infects the plant between R1 and R3 and is easily identified by a white, fluffy, almost cotton-like looking growth within the plant's canopy. Now, there is some management decisions that can be made to help us better manage the disease, and the first thing would be varietal selection. Selecting a variety with a good white mold tolerance, as well as one that has a narrow, upright plant structure that will allow for more air movement within that canopy. The third thing to consider would be what the lodging score is of that variety. Obviously, a poor lodging score is going to limit the amount of air movement, allowing that disease to take off and thrive. Other factors that can put us at greater risk for white mold development include early planted soybean fields that reach canopy earlier and thus prolong the time frame in which that infection can occur, or for conditions to turn favorable for the disease. The next thing would be broadleaf weed control. Now, this is a field of LGS 1667 RX Extend soybeans. So weed control has been very good from the start, but if we did a poor job of controlling lamb's quarter and pigweed, two weeds that act as a host for white mold, we would set ourselves up for a greater risk of white mold development. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is crop rotation. The spores of white mold can live in the soil up to 3 to 4 years, and in some cases longer. But for the most part, if we stay out of a bean-on-bean rotation, we greatly reduce our chances for the development of white mold. Now, there are chemical control options on the market today. Most need to be applied at or near the growth stage of R1 and prior to the infection occurring for them to be really effective. It's important to remember that most of the ones that are on the market today are rated as suppression only, which means that they will not reduce the disease once it shows up. So it's very important to be proactive and look for conditions, as well as be aware of cropping history that favor the disease or the development of white mold. That'll help us better manage or plan an application prior to the disease taking off and being more of a problem. The important thing to remember when dealing with management of white mold is still to carefully plan and place varieties on a field-by-field basis. Here at LG Seeds, we have a great tool called Advantage Acre that allows us to sit down with farmers and do just that. Plan out their farms on a field-by-field basis, taking not only into account white mold management decisions, but other factors that would help in their bottom lines. And with that, this has been your Agronomy Tip of the Week. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we really appreciate your business and your support. Thank you very much.